A busy man.
He is.
We'll keep an eye on it. Thank you, Peter.
Thanks.
All right, coming up in about 10 minutes, Chris Wallace will give us his take on his Fox News Sunday interview today with Congressman Issa. The 112th Congress will be sworn in on Wednesday. Republicans will now be in charge of the House. How will that impact the agenda, and will there be any room for bipartisanship? Tennessee Congressman Steve Cohen is a returning Democrat and regional whip. He joins us now live from Memphis. Congressman, welcome.
Shannon, nice to be with you.
All right, so how do you see this playing out? The Republicans will take the gavel on Wednesday. Do you see any room for bipartisanship?
There's going to have to be, because we need to move our country forward. We need to create jobs. We need to work on the deficit, and we need to improve our economy. The Republicans have the majority now. They need to make things work, and I think Speaker Boehner will reach out to some Democrats to get help to pass things that maybe some of the new Republicans won't vote for, but to make the country work. And I look forward to working with Speaker Boehner in places where we can help innovation, research and development, and jobs growth.
And you mentioned debt and deficit. I mean, it's something that everybody is watching, both sides of the aisle. Everybody agrees sacrifices will have to be made. Where do you think they will be made?
Well, the sad thing is, I think the main place they can be made is in the Defense Department budget, which is so large, and much of the Defense Department budget has programs that are outdated. There's an airplane that the President didn't want, the Defense Department didn't want, yet it was a push in the Congress to build the airplane. I think we need to look at Defense Department spending, and we need to look at the war in Afghanistan and see if that's a worthwhile spending of monies. I don't think it is. I think it's not an effort where America's interests are truly at stake and that we can be successful, and that we have problems at home in domestic spending and our deficit. But that's one of the areas we can look at. I don't know politically if that will happen, and if it doesn't, then you're looking at Social Security and you're looking at Medicare and Medicaid, and those, I think, are safety net programs that we shouldn't cut. The doctors and physicians who participate, who just got a 10% boost to primary care physicians and all on the 1st of January, need to be provided a reasonable compensation to take care of our seniors and our indigent. And those are programs that have become American as apple pie. I mean, sometimes the other party refers to the new health care plan as Obamacare. It's not Obamacare, it's the United States health care plan. And they don't refer to Medicare and Medicaid as Johnson Care, because Lyndon Johnson was the president. He got it done, but it's accepted as American pie now. So I'm afraid the cuts may be coming in social areas where we have a safety net, and I think that would be ill-advised. We'll work with Congressman Issa, who I'm a friend of, and if there's waste, and I know there is waste, if we can find it, we need to get rid of it.
Well, Congressman, you mentioned areas that for a long time have been sacred cows to both sides, whether you're talking about defense spending and that kind of thing, or entitlements and social programs. You obviously favor cuts in one versus the other, but do you think people from both sides will be willing to come in and say, this has been the thing I've campaigned on, this is what I care about, but I realize that for the good of the country, I may have to give it up, or at least let it be carved or shaved down in some way?
I hope we will. We need to. I've worked with Republicans in the past. A great state senator in Tennessee, Mark Norris, and I helped work on welfare to work, and we worked on a great education lottery program. And I can work with Republicans. I've got many great Republican friends. But too much I've heard on the talk shows this morning, people using sloganeering rather than talking about getting together and trying to find commonality. There's a new book called Advantage by Adam Siegel that talks about the need to fund research, development, science and technology, catch up with the Indians and the Chinese and make America competitive and create jobs. And those are the type of things we need to look at where government can be helpful in creating the climate that produces jobs in the 21st century. Green jobs that our past 111th Congress helped create or tried to create. Some came through the ARA and they have been created. Transportation sector, which is so important to Memphis. I look forward to working with Chairman Mike on Airtropolis legislation so that we can see airports that become economic engines as they are in Memphis, Tennessee, have the resources to even further the sending of goods all over this country, which Federal Express does from Memphis.
All right, let's talk about something that didn't get done during the 111th Congress. That was the budget, the appropriations bills. We came into the lame duck session, had to hammer out a continuing resolution just to run the government. Both sides agreed to do that through March, but it'll be, reigniting that battle all over again just a few weeks after we get the president's 2012 fiscal budget. How do you see that shaping up? How is it going to be resolved?
But it's going to be difficult. You've got so many freshmen in who are come into office, many young, many inexperienced, and wanting to cut spending, and I understand that. but at the same time, there are many government programs that can't be cut and are necessary. Speaker Boehner, I think, understands that too, and so do many of the leaders, Eric Cantor and all, the Republican Party. There'll be places we can cut, but there'll be places we need to keep sacred for the security of the America and to get us through this economy. You don't cut spending in a recession. If you cut spending in a recession, you end up stifling that recession. There's a time to deal with the deficit, and we need to start dealing with it, but we also need to keep monies flowing in the places that most stimulate the economy to create jobs and preserve the middle class.
All right, Congressman Steve Cohen, we know you have a lot of work to do. We'll see you when you get back on Wednesday.
Thank you, Shannon. I want to reach out to your other network and say to Bob Schieffer, congratulations, TCU, and we need a national championship football game and see TCU play the winner of Auburn and Oregon.
Nice win by the Horned Frogs yesterday. Congrats.
Yep, Bob Schieffer's awful happy. Thank you, Shannon.
Thanks. Well, if you file your taxes early every year, it may actually take a little bit longer to get your money back this year. Caroline Shively is on to tell us more about that. Why, Caroline?
Well, Shannon, if you just can't wait to pay your taxes and are itching to write that check to the IRS early, you're out of luck this year, and that means there goes that early refund check. You have Congress to thank for the delay because lawmakers waited until December to make tax law changes. Officials